Hello gin fans and welcome back to STB Does Gin. My name is Steve the Barman and this is the YouTube playlist that basically takes a different gin, every single video, reviews it and see what tonic works best with it. As you can see here, I've got 12 tonics lined up, ready to go. Today we're talking about Gin Mare. Absolutely one of my all-time favorite gins. It has been it's been in my business, my mobile cocktail bars and gin tasting nights for at least 2 years now. Every single week without fail, I always have this one of my all-time favorites. But I'll be completely and openly honest, I've only really ever served it with 2 different tonic waters. So for me today, this is going to be really good fun as well, because I know how I serve it, but I want to see if there's actually something better. So this is STB Does Gin. I would absolutely love it if you subscribe to my channel. What I'm hoping to get by the end of December 2018 is 2,000 subscribers and over 100,000 views. We're pushing 24,000 views now. Get a little bit behind in the subscribers. I've got nearly 200 now, so we'll have a little bit of a competition when we hit 200 subscribers, which should be in the next few days. So yeah, that's it. I would absolutely love it if you subscribed. So let's talk about today's gin. As I said, today's gin is Gin Mare. It's a Spanish gin. It comes from just outside of Barcelona, sort of Catalonia region. And as I say, it's absolutely stunning. There's 4 very quirky botanicals in there. And we'll talk about the botanicals in a bit. But let's talk about a bit about the backstory, because this gin kind of went from 0 to 60 in absolutely no time at all. It stems from a wine producing family. I think back in the early 1940s, if I remember this rightly, the family is called Ribot, or Ribot. I don't speak Spanish, I'm very sorry, but R-I-B-O-T. I think that's how you pronounce the surname. And they were known for their wines and spirits. They've got a gin that is available in the UK, but predominantly it dominates the Spanish markets. And it is called Gin MG. I think that's right, Gin MG. As I say, I've not really seen it over here. It is available over here. My suppliers have definitely got it, but it dominates the Spanish markets because they are that well known. However, that's going back quite a few decades. Where are we now? Nearly 6 decades. That gin has been going there. 2 grandsons from the actual family got together in 2007 and decided that they wanted to create a piece of the action as well, get in there on the gin craze. As say, in this time, 2007, 2008, the Spanish gin market is absolutely booming. Long before it did over in the UK markets, Spain got in there first. So 2 of the grandsons wanted to get together. They had an idea of what they wanted to do, but they also pulled in some help basically to help them do this. The company at the time was called Global Premium Brands. It is a Spanish company. I think it's been bought out now. I can never remember the company's name, but it does begin with a V. I forget what it is. Something beginning with a V. Obviously, Vina, something like that. And that's what they did. So the brands, Global Premium Brands, helped them with all the marketing and the design and came up with this absolutely stunning bottle. And the 2 grandsons were responsible for the flavours and the distilling. So that coupled together, there was no way that this gin was ever going to fail. But when I talk about gins and there being a labour of love with distillers, and I love distillers where they start from scratch and go through the whole process instead of just flavouring up a gin. That's what I absolutely love. This gin takes it to a whole new level. These guys are the benchmark. If you want to create your own gin and you want to go through a labour of love, there is nothing more than this gin. I defy any gin producer in the world to do more than what Gin Mare does for their gin. Let me tell you why. So the story starts. I'll talk you through the botanicals in a minute, but we have to start with their citrus fruit. So they have 2 forms of orange, a bitter orange and a sweet orange from Valencia and Seville. And they also have a lemon, which they get from local to them in the Catalonia region. Now, the peel and the zest of the citrus fruit is macerated in a 50% neutral spirit for a year. 12 months it's macerated, just getting all the flavours, all the essential oils out of that citrus fruit before they even start the whole distillation process. So that's a year in the making before they even get to distillation. Now when it comes to deciding what their other botanicals were going to be, the story goes that the two grandsons, they individually distilled 45 different botanicals to get the flavours and see what the flavours would come out like. So no kind of blending of flavours or anything like that, blending juniper and coriander and distilling that. They distilled 45 different botanicals individually to see what those flavours were like. And at the end of the process, once they've done all that, then they set about blending, finding the perfect blend of these botanicals. Now obviously there's not 45 botanicals in this. I do believe there is 10 botanicals in this, but they went through that whole process to find what worked with what botanicals brought the gin to life, what didn't. That is an absolutely amazing story, because no gin distiller, no other gin distiller I think in the world can actually claim to be doing that. So proper labour of love. So let me talk you through the botanicals in this. So we start off with the, let's start off with the 6 sort of classic botanicals. We've got juniper, we've got coriander, and we've got cardamom in there. It's the 3 sort of base botanicals. I've already mentioned the 3 citrus fruits. So we've got bitter oranges, we've got sweet oranges from Seville, and we've got their lemons from the Catalonia region. Now, that's the 6 kind of classic. Most gins would have those in them, maybe some angelica root, orris, something like that to bind the flavours together. However, they've got 2 ingredients there, so they're getting the essential oils from the citrus. That will act as a binding agent as well. The 4 botanicals that set this apart from any other gin on the market, and you'll understand why that they haven't got angelica or orris in there to bind the ingredients together, is because we've got olives, we've got thyme, we've got basil, and we've got rosemary. Now the olives, the juice from the olives, naturally oily, will actually help to bind the botanicals together and get that flavour in there. But as you'll see, as you'll kind of gather from that, I call this a very savoury gin. When I'm doing bars, when I'm out working, and customers come up to me and say, and ask me, you know, what gin would I always come back with a question: are you a starters or a dessert kind of person? Because for me, that kind of gauges their palate. If they say starters, I'm naturally assuming that they've got a savoury palate. If they say dessert, I'm naturally assuming that they've got a sweet palate. This never fails to hit the spot, whether it's the tonic water I serve it with, whether it's just kind of neat. Everyone absolutely loves it. When it comes to the actual distillation of this gin, as I mentioned, through finding the process, they distill all the botanicals separately, but the botanicals are distilled for about 4.5 hours separately. So ignore the fact that we've got 3 of the 10 botanicals that are already macerated in their in the 50% neutral spirit for a year. That counts as 1 botanical. So they then distill each of the other botanicals individually for 4.5 hours. Again, the citrus fruits, they've obviously got to distill that. They've macerated it, but they've got to distill it. So they distill that, and then they go about the process of blending it to find the right ratios to make this perfect gin. So let's get on and try this gin neat now. So what we're going to do, like always, we're going to take our very large gin balloons. These are 22-ounce gin balloons. If you haven't got a gin balloon yet, I will drop affiliate links into the show notes. I will take you to a page where you can search out loads of weird and wonderful gin balloons. These are pretty standard gin balloons. I make no odds about that. Because I do mobile cocktail bars, mobile gin bars, I'm out on the road a lot, I need slightly more indestructible gin balloons. So these are not as elegant as some of them out there, but they are 22-ounce, just over a pint, and they're absolutely brilliant for that. So you need to get yourself some gin balloons. Have a look at the affiliate links in the show notes. Have you got these yet? Have you got one of these? These are my 5cm ice cube trays. I've got loads of these. So when I'm doing gin bars, they produce ice cubes like that. Now let me compare it for you. That's a normal ice cube that you get from the supermarket, the polar ice bags that you get in every single supermarket. Look at that for size comparison. 5cm ice cubes. And when you're doing gin balloons, gin and tonics like that, you just need 2 of them. How special does that look? Anyway, we're going to taste it. Affiliate links to get yourselves one of these. It's only about £6 or £7, I think, on Amazon. I'll drop you a link in the show notes of where you can pick those up from. You need to get some of those. You need to. They come in packs of 2, the ones I buy. Just get yourself 2 of those. Absolutely perfect. What we got? 16 gin and tonics at a time with 2 of those if you use 2. Get yourself some of them. Anyway, let's get on. Let's get on and taste the gin. So we're going to put a small amount of gin. Just pour it over our ice cube there. Now, to taste any kind of spirit, as I always say, you need to dilute it ever so slightly with a bit of water, in this case ice, because that will just bring the aromas and the flavours out even more. That's why kind of why we use tonic water for a gin and tonic, but we want to taste this neat. So just going to swirl that around a little bit and get a bit of the water, tiny bit of the dilution in there. Smell it first. Now straight away with this, you do get the juniper, but you get the very kind of Mediterranean coastline. Literally just smell the thyme and the rosemary. The rosemary is the big one that comes out for me. I don't get so much of the basil, but when I think about, I don't get olives until I think about them. When I think about the olives, I can really smell it in there. But let's try it. Now that is lovely. For me personally, it's not a gin that I would drink neat. I think it's a bit too savoury for my palate. I have got quite a sweet tooth. So for me to drink neat or in a martini or anything like that, not necessarily the gin for me. But as a gin and tonic, I think this goes next level. Definitely one of my favourite gin and tonics. I'm not going to mention, I've just looked at it, but I'm not just going to mention which tonic water I use. Because there's one in here I haven't tried with, and I'll talk you through the story in a minute. So let's get on and taste some of these gin and tonics now. As you can see, I've got 12 tonics lined up. As always, we've got the plain Indian tonic waters on this side, and on this side we've got kind of what I call flavoured tonic waters on there. So something a bit different. My palate tends to go for that side more than that side, but what this video series has actually taught me, that actually even me, I'm actually drinking some of the gins with the wrong tonic waters for me, and that's why I'm not really loving these. So this series has been brilliant for me, let alone what it's helping you guys with, but I'm absolutely loving this. So as always, quick rant, gin and tonics, for me, they should be served in a 1:3 ratio. So in each one of these glasses, there's 5 ml of gin and 15 ml of tonic water. No more than that. Any more than a 1:3 ratio, and you're diluting the gin down. You really don't get the botanicals coming through from the gin. So when you're going out to a pub and you order a single gin and tonic in the UK is 25 ml. These bottles of tonic are 200 ml. If the barman puts that whole bottle of tonic water in your drink, that is a 1:8 ratio. You've completely destroyed the gin. Yes, it might taste nice, but you're not going to get the botanicals from the gin. So my way, what I'd urge you guys to do is, you've seen me taste it, ask the bartender just to put the ice in the glass with your gin, have a little taste it, and then take the bottle of tonic water. Because even if you have a double measure of gin, that's still only 3/4 of that bottle. 200 ml bottle, 150 ml. That's all you want. 3/4 of that bottle for gin and tonics. Anyway, rant over. So let's get on and taste these gin and tonics. I've mixed the orders up again, so I'm not favouring a single brand or anything like that. So first up, we've got Double Dutch tonic water. I like that. That for me really does work. Slight hint of grapefruit on the tonic water, ever so slight. It's not a grapefruit flavoured tonic water by any means, just a very, very subtle hint in there. That for me works very well. Next up, Fever Tree. Again, that works very well. Can't actually split those two at the moment. This is Merchant's Heart, available in Sainsbury's and Ocado. No, I get too much of the the tonic water is too overpowering for the gin for me for that one. Now, this is the interesting one. I very, very rarely use this. This is a very expensive tonic water, sometimes up to £1.50, £1.60 a bottle. This is 1724. Now, this is a Chilean tonic water. However, it's owned by the same guys that promote and distribute this. And rumour has it that this is an exceptional, perfect tonic water to match. That's why they've chosen this tonic water to use. They say it works really well. So I've had this tonic water before. I've never tried it with Gin Mare. So let's see. Ooh, that's interesting. What I get with that one, that really enhances the botanicals, because also I can really taste that are stronger botanicals. And I know it's not a flavoured tonic water. That's really interesting. I really like that. Right. This is Schweppes Premium Tonic Water. This is Schweppes 1783. I keep wanting to call it 1893. Schweppes 1783. See what this tastes like. That's very nice. Let's go back to Fever Tree. Ooh. As an out-and-out gin and tonic, I don't think I can split those two. All I will say is, hang on, let's just try the final Schweppes one. Ooh, again. Ooh, I think I prefer that. Need to go back to Fever Tree. Right. So, for me, on the normal tonic waters, that I recommend wholeheartedly with that. It does work. I can see why they say it works. I really, really get that now that I've tasted it. However, it's a very, very expensive tonic water. When are you comparing, you know, sometimes I've even seen this for just under £2. Very expensive. I think, this is my own personal palate, I think Schweppes actually comes, normal bog standard Schweppes comes in second. There's nothing for me wrong with those two at all. I think just for this, my palate, just that normal bog standard Schweppes just gives Gin Mare. It's a gin and tonic. It's something different. But if you've got the money in, if you can see this, I'll drop links, affiliate links to this online where you can pick it up from nice and easy. I would recommend that every day for a plain gin and tonic water. So let's get on and try the flavours, because there's some interesting things here. Let's pop that. So first up, now 9 times out of 10 when I'm on my bars, this is exactly how I serve it. Fever Tree Mediterranean. So and we can tell why. It's just lovely. The floralness of the tonic goes exceptionally well with the gin. There's just absolutely no fault in that whatsoever. Yep, spot on. Spot on. Right, this is a newish one. I've had it for a while, never really used it on events. This is Lamb and Watt Basil Tonic Water. Ooh, that creates a very nice drink as well. I thought the basil would be very overbearing in that, but it's not. Oh, that's a tough call. That's a tough call. Right, this is a new one I've just cracked open as well. This is Merchant's Heart. This is their floral tonic water. It's nice. Masks the taste of the gin. Yeah, it's nice. It's not horrible in the slightest. Just masks the taste of the gin. Right, I did serve this one quite regularly for a long time. This is double Dutch. This is Basil and Pomegranate tonic water. Oh, and that is lovely as well. That is, for me, that just gives just that little bit of fruity kick for my own personal palate, because I'm a sweeter tooth and I like my fruit, and that for me just gives it that little bit of fruity kick. I don't think I'm going to convert traditionalists with that. I think they're just going to either go Fever Tree Mediterranean or the 1724. But for me, because I like that, that's really nice. Oh, I could drink that all day long out in the sunshine. Absolutely beautiful. Right, the next flavour one. This is London Essence. This is their grapefruit and rosemary tonic water. No idea why I picked that out. I just thought, do you know what? That might work. So let's go with it. Let's see. I think possibly the grapefruit might be just a little bit too bitter in there for a lot of people. It's not grapefruit. You're not drinking grapefruit juice. You've just got the very subtle taste of grapefruit. I think that might be a bit too bitter for a lot of people. Obviously, it's masking the taste of the gin, but actually the gin does work very well with that. I think I would struggle serving it. I think I really would, converting people with that. Now, this is the last one. Again, I have no idea why I picked this one up. As I say, I've got lots of different tonic waters. I've got nearly 40 different tonic waters. This is Peter Spanton's Cardamom tonic water. I just thought, sort of the cardamom, there's cardamom in the gin. There's cardamom in a lot of gins, but I just thought that might go. So let's try it. Again, that's an interesting taste. Wow. Do you know what the upshot of this video is? Actually, there's only possibly 2 tonic waters there out of 12 that I wouldn't have confidence in selling to you guys if you were at one of my events. That is really bizarre. That tells you everything you need to know about this gin. It's just a beautiful gin that works exceptionally well. If I had to, bearing in mind I'm thinking of the customers, not necessarily me, if I had to, I would go Fever Tree Mediterranean purely because it's the most readily available out of my top 3, 4. I wouldn't have any hesitations at all in recommending that. It's just a bit too expensive. If you're in a high street bar though and you've got that, I'd definitely get that in, because that takes a new level. For me, the Schweppes normal is lovely, but I think the Fever Tree works. The Fever Tree Mediterranean works better. Definitely works better than that. The Double Dutch, lovely with that. The Basil, really, actually, do you know what? I'm going to tell you a little story here now. I'm going to waffle, but Mummy Barman, she hates gin and she hates tonic, but she is loving these videos because this is what, number 6 we're in now. She has found at least 3 out of the 12 drinks that I've done that she really likes. Now, if I can convert, Mummy Barman, if you're watching this, I know you're stereotypical. I don't like gin because of your experiences in the past. But if I can convert her into liking gin and tonics, then I can convert anyone. So what I mean, you've just got to get out there and you've just got to go and try different tonic waters, because what might not work for you in the first instance, if you try it with a different tonic water, you might absolutely love it. This is what I'm finding. For me, I would happily all day long recommend all 3 of those, and all day long. If I can't pick them. Let's go those 4. Let's go for those 4. Okay. That's just blown me away. What a cracking gin that is. Go out and buy it. It's about £35. I'll drop the affiliate links in the show notes. I've been Steve the Barman. I'm going to stop waffling now. This has just blown me away, this video. I would love it if you hit the subscribe button, and I will see you next time on STB Does Gin.